Hi and welcome back to Weirded Tropicals on this glorious tropical day. Does it get more tropical than this? I don't think it stopped raining for what feels like a month solid. Today's video, it's another hardy evergreen plant haul. The reason for these is the practical tips. These are things that you can get the backbone ready for your garden. So now in the off season, when people are planning their gardens and thinking what things can I put where, what goes in the shade area, what's going to be the backbone of the garden, these are the plants that I'm recommending for you to use that, as well as the previous video that I've done. It's not just about me bragging to say that I've got a load of new plants. These are the plants that are physically going in my garden as well. So without further waffle, let's get at it. So literally straight out of the box, very first up today is an absolute classic. I know variegation is not everybody's bag, but I absolutely love it. This is the Fatsia japonica Variegata. The coloration on that is absolutely beautiful. This thing is from Japan, South Korea. The actual genus is that, like the Fatsia japonica. The Variegata one is one that's cultivated, so I don't believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe this naturally grows actually anywhere. This is one that's like lab grown, because probably some had a mutation on it and then it's kind of gone from there. But like I say, 1.5 meters to 3 meters tall, so similar to the beautiful Fatsia that I've got behind me. That's just pushing over probably 2.5 meters now. The spread is 1.5 to 2.5 meters as well. Looks a nice semi-shade kind of spot, if not a shady spot in the garden, very similar to the other Fatsias. Really hardy, down to -12, -15. AI said it was around about -5, -10, but what I could see and what I spoke to other people about said it can take a lot more than that. The Fatsia behind me is eating -10. Yes, they do droop and they do brown off, but they absolutely bounce back. If you get any reverted ones, so where they're all green, you can cut them off to keep the variegation going. But what a strong start to a plant haul. An absolute beautiful Fatsia, absolute great little specimen there. On to plant number 2. So next up, and don't forget, if you're enjoying these videos, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. At the time I record, I'm about 19. I've hit my target of 1,000 before YouTube can start paying me something towards these plant haul videos. It means I can bring more videos to you as well, and also it just really makes me chuffed when the subscribers go up. So this one was a suggestion of Steve. Again, seems to be my plant enabler. Like I need enabling as it is, but this is the Astelia Nervosa Westland from the Bleak Plant haul company, if that gets into focus. What this is, it's got like a kind of silvery sheen to it. It's from New Zealand, where it's native. Grows quite compact, 0.8 to 1.2 meters tall, there or thereabouts, and similar in spread. So it's nice. He sent me over some photos. Look really nice at the front of the border, maybe like the middle, like wedged in somewhere, kind of that area. -8, -10. This can take for short periods of time. I'm sure people will correct me to say that they've had it. These are new to me, so I can only go with what's online. So if you've had these down to -20 or something, let me know. I'm looking to learn all the time as well. These could take full sun to shade. The colour is best in part shade. Apparently it gets bleached down, gets a bit stressed in full sun, but I'm sure everyone in here has got examples of where that's not the case. So if you got any information, put it in the comments. But look at that, absolute beauty. I bought 3 of those in total. The foliage gets kind of like a bronzy colour in like colder regions as well, kind of gives it a nice little beautiful thing. I will see if I can put some examples on the screen, but if not, give it a little bit of a Google. And they can flower, but apparently the flowers are quite modest, so you don't traditionally grow these for the flowers. I have got something rare at the end as well. A couple of plants coming towards the end, but one very rare that I got off the Big Plant Company as well. It's not very showy at the moment because it's been cut back, but I'll try and see if I can find something to put on screen as well. But right in, so the next one, I have already got 2 or 3 of them in the garden, but what I wanted to do is create like a more of a natural look, and I think you can achieve that quite nicely with repetition of plants, so it looks a little bit more kind of natural. When you go a lot of places abroad, there's like maybe a limited choice of, but used often. What I started doing was a load of statement plants, and it did kind of look a bit more like a museum kind of piece where everything was its own individual thing. So I'm going to try and have those nice statement plants, but woven in between that, kind of within the fabric of the garden, I'm going to do a bit of more repetition. It's a Fatsia Polycarpa Green Fingers. The leaves on these are just fantastic. I absolutely love everything about this plant. This one is from Taiwan. The size gets between 4 meters tall with a spread of 1.5 to 2.5 meters. It is a bit more slower growing than the other ones in my experience. The one at the back has been in the ground for I think about 3 years. I'll put an overlay on it, but it's only about 1 metre tall at the moment, about 1.5 metres kind of in spread. But I like that kind of low hanging. As I said before, I'm trying to get rid of the ground, so I don't necessarily want these to rocket away. These are absolutely beautiful. Again, with a lot of the Fatsias, if not all of them, they like a part shade. The one at the back of the garden does take full sun, believe it or not, and it does seem to do absolutely fine. Very rarely gets frazzled. You can take -5, -10C. I've had mine probably lower than that. They do droop and do look a bit sulky, but you'll come back as soon as the sun hits the leaves again, they're absolutely fine. Very dramatical. So it can take 10 years as well to get to its full size, and these come from the shady forests in Taiwan. So an absolutely beautiful little collection of Fatsias I've got on the table in front of me. Let's go on some that isn't a Fatsia. So another recommendation, and this one was from Rich's UK Garden Projects and Mini Golf. Sorry, Rich, I can never remember the full name as soon as I click record, but I'll put it on screen anyway. These are two beautiful ferns. I did say it's one of those areas where I've always found ferns to be very difficult to get evergreen. I found hardy ones, and I bought the shuttlecock fern previously, and I thought that was evergreen, and it wasn't. And it's just something that I've always struggled to find. So again, more suggestions in the comments. These are both names I can't pronounce properly. They're Polystichum, something like that, and Blechnum Spicant, something like that. I will put the names on screen, but these are absolutely gorgeous, really interesting leaf shape on both of those. I'll put the names on screen, but both of them are kind of similar and dissimilar in different ways. So the Polystichum, I'm going to call that for now, which is this one. It's native to Korea, Japan, China, that kind of area. It's 30 to 50 centimeters tall, and the same kind of in spread, so more of a compact one. Could easily take -10, -5, and again should be evergreen because it's still evergreen now and it's gone through the cold period. The Blechnum, I think that one's called Spicant, is native weirdly to UK, Europe, North America, East Asia. Size on this one is 30 to 50 centimeters tall and 45 to 60 centimeters spread. This one apparently is bone hardy down to -20. Apparently one of the side notes for this one was that it likes a acidic soil. So if you've got any like ericaceous compost, feel free to chuck that in as well. But for any of you fern experts out there, feel free to put a couple of other examples in of some more compact ferns that I can dot in between the garden. I don't know why I've struggled with ferns, but I just really have. I can either find them hardy, but I don't seem to be able to find them that are evergreen. So feel free to put some in there. I know there's a very knowledgeable lot on here. Give you some that kind of Steve recommended as well. And then I've got the very rare one at the end, which is nothing to look at because it's been completely cut back. So bear with, I'll see if I can find some information online. Let's move down to the greenhouse where I've kept the next plant. Last before the end, we've got this one, which is not looking great at the moment. They are going to send me another one. It was Crocus that I bought this one from. It's a passion flower. This one's native to South America, Brazil, Argentina. It can get massive, between 8 and 10 meters if unpruned, can really run away. Hardy, -5, -10. Does well down south. If it gets like really brutal cold winds, they can die back. The reason it's within my evergreen video is the vast majority of locations and people that I've spoken to have said it's evergreen in their location. So probably 7, 8 out of 10 would say that it was an evergreen plant. It likes water in summer. It likes to be fed. Anything massive like that with a load of flowers and stuff and growth on it needs to be fed, watered, and all the rest of it. Apparently it can struggle in waterlogged heavy clay soil, so make sure it's free draining, dig some perlite in or horticultural grit or something like that. And it can fruit between July and September. The unripe fruit on this one is toxic. It needs to be really bright orange. I'll put some information on the screen and some overlays because that's really not an exciting thing to look at. But they're sending me a brand new one out as well. So that's going to be something I'm going to be growing up the fences as well. But now onto the surprise one, which isn't evergreen, but it's just something that I was excited to show you. Right, and so finally, the rare one that I found on the Big Plant Company is a big pot of dirt with one stem sticking out of it. I will find some information because it's going to be a bit of a hard sell to show you what this one is, but I'm really, really excited about this one. So that massive pot of dirt there is a miscanthus, which I can't even dream of pronouncing. It's called Lutario Paraceus or something like that. It's not an evergreen, so I threw this one as kind of at the end because it's massive. So I was going to buy it anyway. So as an additional plant that isn't evergreen. It's native to China, but as most miscanthus, as soon as the cold hits them, they die back. This one can size up to 4 to 5 meters with a spread of 1.5 to 2.5 meters, so it's colossal. Should be much bigger than the other miscanthus that I've got. Hardy down to -15C, which is talking about root hardy, and like kind of clump, that kind of area, but it's often quoted much lower than that one. Again, dies back after the first frost, so it doesn't hit the evergreen title that I've put on this video. And then full sun is absolutely ideal. And there we have it, another plant haul. I appreciate the hawk-eyed of you. We're going to say, right, you said this was an evergreen video, and at the end you threw in a miscanthus that you quite clearly said wasn't an evergreen plant. We gardeners, we get excited when a plant germinates, when a new flower emerges. That's a new plant to me that I've never had before. So I threw it on just out of sheer excitement, right? And also I just didn't want to do a video on a pot of dirt. Yeah, so it's a bonus thing on there, so don't kill me in the comments for saying it was an evergreen video and that's not evergreen. I was just excited to chuck it in here. If you made it to the end, you're an absolute legend. You're the people that I'm making these videos for. The best way to support the channel, as I said earlier, is just if you click subscribe. If you see a video in the future that I make on seed grow long and that's not your bag, feel free to scroll on. We're here for a short time, hopefully for a good time. So what you don't need to do is sit there and watch every single one of my videos if you're not interested in them as well. So you don't need to have the bell icon like everybody tells you. If I can get you the thumbnail, you're going to watch it, right? So feel free to subscribe because I'm right on the cusp now of 1,000. And it's the best way to make sure that us creators that are at home stressing about where the next video stuff's coming from can see the stats going up, and then it spurs us on to make another one. So if any of this waffle was useful, don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you've got any more plant recommendations, put them in there. I've had a bit of a colossal error in the house at the moment where I've got a £1,000 bill for some carpentry work, which is unfortunately the exact amount that I had saved up for my buying plants this year. So I'm going to have to try and re-save up again, but you know, there's bigger fish to fry in the world going on right now than me losing my plant money. I will save up again, I'll regroup, and I'm growing things from seed, so I've got stuff to show you all the time. But appreciate you for watching and making it to the end. Thank you very much.